Okay, hello. Welcome to Blues and Rock and Roll Beginners Progressions. We're going to be talking a little bit about A5 and A6 chords and blues progressions and rock and roll progressions, swung rhythms, straight rhythms, blues progressions and rock and roll progressions are used in countless songs. From back in the 50s, 60s, all the way up to now. And you've got Chuck Berry, Johnny B. Good, haven't you? And then you've got like the likes of McFly, which were only a few years ago that we're using them. Hey Jason, how's it going? You right, mate? Dialing in to have a check out the blues progressions I'm about to start teaching. Good to see you, man. So, yeah, I was just saying, just talking about how blues and rock progressions are used in different and countless songs. Now, there's something called the 12-bar blues progression, and that in itself is made up of 12 bars. A certain amount of chords are used, and it makes up a whole song, and it's just a turnaround. It just goes around in a cycle. So it's the same thing. Once you've learned it, you've learned in effect, you've learned tons of different songs. Okay, so let me give you the sound of it first, so you can get your head around it. Because remember, when we're listening to things and we're trying to pick out different parts of songs, you've really got to kind of remember whereabouts that they sit within the song. So you've got this chord, the A5, all right, and then you've got the A6 chord, which is actually hardly a change in movement with the fingers. That's why it's so easy to sort of get your head around it. All you have to do is move a finger just slightly up to a different fret, and you create a different harmony. And the first one's A5. We talked about power chords in other past lessons. The A6 chord, a different type of harmony, different relationship of two notes together, makes up an A6, and it sounds like that, and you bounce between the two of them. Now, let's look at the rhythm, okay? So, the rhythm, let's look at the rhythm before we start looking at frets. Now, rhythm-wise, you've got straight rhythm, which is 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, and you can clap that. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and that's tons of rock and roll songs use that rhythm, but within the blues pattern, it's slightly different. It's more like a heartbeat or a galloping horse, where the and is slightly later. So it's like this: 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. So it's slightly different. You've got the and a little bit later, which creates more of a kind of vibey, syncopated, offbeat sort of type rhythm. Yeah. So you've got the straight one, which is like this: 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, and you've got the more syncopated, offbeat, slightly later quaver, the and beat, which is like this. Okay? So they're the two types of ways you can strum this pattern, this chord progression. But we're going to look at the straight way for now. We're going to look at the rock and roll rhythm, which is just 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. So what we want you to do is put your first finger down on the second fret of the D string, and that's going to be just those two notes being played, and you just want to make sure that you're hitting both strings almost at the same time, one after another. Nice strike, and that's the A5 chord. Now, to play the A6 chord, all you've got to do is move your first finger, or really, if you want to get into good habits from the get-go, get your third finger over to the fourth fret of the same string. So what you're doing is you're playing the first one, and then you're moving your third finger to the fourth fret of the D string, same string that your first finger's on. You're striking those two and you're bouncing between the two of them, yeah? So you're going to go 1 and 2 and 3. What you're saying, Jason, would like to learn a little bit about tech, pedals, effects. Oh, okay, we'll get to that. We'll get to tech and stuff. But right now we're just going to do our power chords and our sixth chords, our rock and roll progressions. But we will be talking about different pedals, different sounds as well. But for now, we're just going to bounce between those two notes, yeah? The A5 and the A6. Now, when you first start doing this, you might come across this problem. You're trying to work out how to move it, you're trying to move it, and there's a big gap in between the two of them. That's fine. And there are tricks to get over those hurdles, which I will get to. But the thing is, we only got a certain amount of time to go through these chords. I'll get to those a little bit later. So, playing those two, and you're going to go back and forth. And you can try and push yourself and go really, really quickly. But if you want to learn a little bit more how to bounce between those two chords or any chord progression, you might want to go to my my online website, which is www.alpascalonline.com, and get subscribed to the whole course where I talk about changing chords and rhythms and stuff like that. But for now, just get yourself, accustomed just getting the notes and the actual chords down. and sounding good. So then later on we could put them together and actually get them to flow, because it is all about timing music, isn't it? If you're out of time, it doesn't sound right. We talked about that before. It's all about the timing. 1 and 2 and 3. Remember, going slower and putting it into a different time frame, and a slower time frame is also quite important. If you go a bit slower, then you're able to catch up with yourself. So don't try and rush in and try and do everything really, really quickly. Take it nice and slowly. So that's the type of chords that we're looking at. That's how you can bounce between the two notes and create a certain type of rhythm. And it sounds cool. And like I said, it's so many different songs that have used that. You know, I remember it was a massive turning point for me. So when I was about 12 years old, and I was bogged down with a lot of classical stuff. Classical stuff's great, but I wasn't really getting on with it. And then my brother turned around and said, look, I've got this book. He's a guitarist as well. He said, I've got this book. It's it comes with a CD, and you know, it's really easy to use. It's got tab music. It's really easy to listen to and to learn and to reference. And it sounds really cool because you know, it's a beginner's guide to playing rock and roll and blues. And all you've got to do is move a couple of fingers, and it sounds great. And that's what, you know, what really hooked me. So I said, oh, let me check it out. And I checked it out, and it was just like, okay, that's a game changer for me. And it was a massive turning point. And for me, it got me onto other things, and got me reading tab, and got me into a lot more rock and roll music as well. And I could hear where the guitar sat within rock and roll music. That's also really important as well, when you've actually got like, you've got a piece of music that you're listening to, but you're not sure which bit's the guitar. Well, anyway, this book sorted all that out for me, and that's what my course does as well. It takes you through all the nice little building blocks of music that are really easy to use and sound really cool by themselves. It's another thing, isn't it? You want to find music that's really cool and sounds good by itself, and this sounds great. You know, you can improvise, you can do some blues stuff on top of it, you can do all sorts. You can play some solos, somebody else could be improvising, you know. So the point is that if you learn one thing, it's then moved into different places on the fretboard, and it makes up a whole song. Now, I'm not going to go into all of that. It's way too much in depth, and you need a bit more time. But if you do, make sure you head over to my website. If you really want to take a look at it and learn a little bit more about this, then go to www.alpascalonline.com, and you'll get a much clearer picture of how you can move these patterns in an easy fashion and create a song. Okay, so delve over there and have a little look. I think that kind of covers everything I wanted to sort of go over today. Make sure you stay tuned. If you haven't liked my Pascal music page, please do give it a like, and do, you know, head over to the new website and check out my subscription course. It's only $6.75, and it's a one-time only thing, an exclusive offer for now. So just take a look at it and get involved. And try these A5 and A6 chords out. Yeah, they're really easy. Like I said, just moving from the 2nd fret to the 4th fret. You just bounce between the two of them, and you strike 2 notes. So if you've got a guitar kicking around, try it out. It's simple. All right. I'll be back for more lessons. I'll let you know. Stay tuned. Thanks everybody for coming in. Hey Sebastian. Hey man, how you doing, mate? You good? Yeah, I'll get onto all those questions as well. I mean, let's have a look what you got here. Pickups too. Looks like you have a... I did. LA Strings is a great place. Hyman David. Yeah. Okay, so Jason, that's a good question. I mean, all right, let's quickly go into that. Now, you can customize your guitars, right? Now, this guitar isn't the same as when I bought it. For instance, you've got Eric Clapton's signature up there. So it's Eric Clapton's signature strap. When I bought it, there was a lot of things I actually wanted to change and didn't like about it. I mean, everybody wants to personalize their guitar at some point. So I think, you know, it was a good opportunity. I really loved Eric Clapton, don't get me wrong, but I just wanted to sort of change it up and get a different sound. I found the pickups weren't quite right for the sort of rock I was playing, so I changed those up. And David and Haim helped me with that from LA Strings. They're from Finchley. And I also changed the frets. I just got it refretted recently. It was a little while back, and put some jumbo frets on it. It's when you get nice big frets. I got new pickups, new frets. I got like a MIDI system there, which I'll go into one day, which I've used. A MIDI system is when you play your guitar and it goes into another effects unit, another type of box, and that box then translates it into other instruments. So I could play, you know, keyboard with it, loads of different things. So yeah, I have changed this up. And string wise, obviously you've got to get your guitar set up properly. So if you need anything like that, if you've got an electric guitar, you know, tap me up and I can head you, I can point you right direction for someone to sort of to change it up and make it to your liking. Everyone's got their own personal preference when it comes to playing guitar. You know, big strings, fat strings, higher action, that sort of stuff. So that's a completely different a different lesson, but that was a good question, Jason. Thanks for that. These pickups are bare knuckle pickups. Great make. You know, and I'll go into that a little bit more as we go. But try the A5, A6 chords out, yeah, and have a little go on those, and research people like Johnny B. Good, and like I said, McFly even used them like a few years ago in lots of their songs. Maybe even Busted, I'm not even sure. But anyway, so lots of poppy rock bands did as well. But yeah, like I said, countless songs. Look up 12-bar blues patterns and we can go from there. So, you know, thanks for listening. Went on a little bit about my guitar there, but I hope you enjoyed it. And I will check you guys out a little bit later. Thanks very much. Bye.